over. Giannis is monitoring the situation.
What is this?
What's next for one of the best players in the world? Meanwhile, a report from Pro Football Focus that says Drake May's ceiling is Trevor Lawrence.
It's not the most outrageous thing in the article.
And there's something more outrageous.
According to Danny.
According to Danny.
But
not the Pro Football Focus.
It is what it is.
One of the best plays of the year right there. And finally, we preview USA Costa Rica this weekend on Fox. We're joined by Rob Stone. Again, Danny Parkins doing double duty for us. Breakfast Ball and First Things First in for Nick. Kevin Wilds. Brew, what are your vacation plans? Are you going to share?
You know what? I will share.
Okay.
I'm going to Greece.
Oh,
First time in Greece, yes. I'm looking forward to it.
fun.
Historical, beachy, Mediterranean, all that.
This guy, you know what? Brew, out here trying to get the scoop on Giannis where we're starting right now.
I'll be working.
commitment.
I will be working. There you go.
It's also just when Hubs gets that invoice, like, what? Brew.
I'm going to be writing stuff off.
John saying Giannis is, quote, closely observing how the Bucks are moving in the draft and free agency. Well, here's how it's going. No first-round pick. Pick 47, they took Serbia's Boguljub Markovic, and he's from Serbia.
Yeah, that checks out.
I want to call him Bogo Markovic.
Sure. And they also signed Mark Sears, who went undrafted from Bama. Meanwhile, Giannis on Instagram writing, quote, confidence is silent. Looking ripped. Good lighting on that photo. Wow.
That was a great photo.
Was that a filter, you think?
Probably a filter.
Gianna, that's a filter. All right, what's next for Giannis?
Well, he wants to give the Bucks a shot. Giannis is a great guy. I don't know him personally, but he seems like a great guy, right? And he wants to give the Bucks a chance. He doesn't want to be the bad guy and come out and demand a trade. But all that he and the Bucks are doing is postponing the inevitable. And I'm not saying, like, if he wants to stay, fine. But you need to leave. You should be winning championships. All right? And that's what Giannis wants to do. Danny, what in the world, what is there to observe? You just named the draft picks. Yeah. Right? And the Bogo kid, you know, just, I don't know his game, but reading about him, seems like maybe, you know, he's got some similarities to a Brook Lopez, can shoot it, can post up, things like that. That would be great, but I doubt he's going to be Brook Lopez, all right? And then the kid, they just signed a kid that wasn't drafted. They don't have much cap room to go out there and make a splash in free agency. They could lose Lopez, Bobby Portis, you know, Porter Jr. Like, Damian Lillard's hurt. There's nothing to they would have to pull a basketball miracle to get a special player in there to really give them a chance at competing at a high level next year. I don't see it coming. So that's why I'm like, look, just, you know, rip off the Band-Aid, and Giannis should say, I'm ready to move on. And I would say I'm going to name a few things, and you're going to like it. I see you sitting there with the frown on your face. You're going to like it.
I don't like it already.
Now, Houston didn't use up all their assets. Houston, Danny, could offer Milwaukee Şengün, Reed Shepherd, Torrey Eason, and Cam Whitmore.
Yeah.
And picks. They got a bunch of picks. That's one definite star in Şengün, another potential one in Shepherd, and then some good role players. And Cam Whitmore's talented, and you get a bunch of picks. And then, now, that would give Houston a starting five of Van Vliet, Amin Thompson, KD, Giannis, and Jabari Smith.
That would work.
With Steven Adams up there, you think?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great team. I would pick them to win the championship. And then San Antonio, take your pick. De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, you know, Stephon Castle. Which point guard do you want? We got some picks, some other young players. But I think Houston still, even after getting Durant, has the best offer. And I'm just saying, like, it's just, unless he wants to stay there, be loyal, and not really win any more championships, which I would respect. I'm not mad at him. I'm just saying, if you really want to win more rings, if you want to up your ranking historically, then you need to go elsewhere and get with a team that can win.
I feel like people keep projecting how they feel on how they feel like Giannis should feel. Mm-hmm. Giannis reveres Kobe Bryant. That was his idol. That was his guy. Kobe played in one team, in one organization for forever. And Giannis not only has never requested a trade, he has signed not one, not two, but 3 contract extensions in Milwaukee. And he doesn't sign 1-and-1s, 3-year deals, 4-year deals. He keeps signing them.
You know you used the wrong comparison. Because Kobe did ask out. Kobe was ready to leave LA unless you improve the team.
He was almost a Bull. I understand that. But the Bucks have also done right by Giannis. They gave up stuff to get Drew. They gave up stuff to get Damian Lillard. They changed coaches. There was a time when the NBA bought the arena from Milwaukee because the Bucks, if they didn't get financing, were going to leave Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. Giannis was a rookie. Then Giannis starts becoming Giannis. They get the financing. Right. They build the new building. The owner says, this building, this practice facility, is a testament to Giannis and our commitment to build a championship around him. I think the national media completely underestimates how much Milwaukee means to Giannis and how much Giannis means to Milwaukee. Other than Steph Curry to the Warriors, no player means more to their city and organization than Giannis Antetokounmpo does to the Milwaukee Bucks. And by the way, who's the best player in the East next year?
Well, him.
And who's the second, and how big of a gap is there between Giannis and the second best player with Tatum's injury, with Halliburton's injury?
How big of a gap was there between Giannis and the best player on the Pacers this year?
Well, but they also, with Dame just getting hurt right at the beginning of the playoffs.
Dame won't even be there at all next year. You know,
I tend to agree with you. But you said the only way that he can add to his legacy is another championship. What if this upcoming year, Giannis, who for the 3 years in a row now has been 30-11, and now the last 2 years 6.5 assists. What if this year it's 30-11 and 8 or 9 assists because the ball's in his hand more, and he pushes them to the 5 seed in the East? That's Russell Westbrook, when Westbrook averaged the triple-double and was the 6th seed in the West and got his MVP. Giannis could be the 10th guy ever to win 3 MVPs or more.
Oh, that's fine. But what about, are you giving, because I thought you were going to say, what if he leads them to the finals next year?
I don't think I don't think he will either. But again, he already has won a title. You are saying he needs multiple titles to be secure in his legacy or to add to his legacy. He doesn't seem to feel that way.
Well, he does want his legacy to be as high as possible. If LeBron, because Milwaukee and Giannis's bond is great. I agree with you. It's not greater than LeBron's and Cleveland's was his first stint there. And he left, and as great as LeBron James is, if he had stayed in Cleveland and had ended up with 1 championship, he would not be in the GOAT debate.
There's no world in which Giannis is in the GOAT debate, though. There's no
Actually, I'm not saying he's going to be in there, but if he won more championships, or he could get in the top 10 conversation.
Yeah, I think that Giannis, listen, I love Giannis. He's my favorite player in the NBA today. I just don't think that it is a guarantee. Everyone is saving assets for him. I agree with you. I think that's why Miami didn't make a more aggressive offer for KD. The Spurs didn't push all their chips in. The Knicks. I think all these teams are hoping that Giannis asks out. And I think they're going to be waiting a while. And I think he is going to run it out there at the beginning of the year.
Oh, I agree with that.
He's not getting traded in the next week. Sham said, Sunday is a big day in the NBA. That's not happening.
No, I agree with you.
He will start the season in Milwaukee and see where it's at. See where Dame's at in his recovery. See if Gary Trent takes a leap. I know.
I like Gary Trent a lot.
What
kind of leap is he going? I mean, like the leap to get them to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Again, probably not. But can they be competitive?
So do you want him to stay?
Yes, I want him to stay.
Because I think we're different now. There used to be like you even talked about Kobe staying with the Lakers his whole career.
Steph,
it's not, that's nice. It's fine, but it's not frowned upon anymore to go to another franchise.
Brew, can I ask you a question? Do you think Giannis has been in Milwaukee for 12 years. Yes. Dame was in Portland for 11 years. There was the same loud drumbeat of Dame's got to leave, Dame's got to play in more important basketball games. He leaves. Right. It hasn't worked out. He talked about, like, personally, it was challenging for him in Milwaukee. Do you think Giannis takes that into account where, like, man, they just did the same thing to this guy. He's not his best self here. Now he's hurt, which is, that's randomized. But I think if Dame Lillard could get into a time machine, he'd be like, you know what, maybe I'd be better off having Reggie Miller's career.
I agree.
And being like a hero in Portland rather than trying to chase something and being unhappy.
I agree. Damian Lillard, as great as he is, obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer, not on the level of Giannis.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard, not a guy that would ever get in the top 10 conversation. Like, his legacy's not going to be what Giannis's was. I give you another guy Giannis should look at, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett, it's similar, again, the relationship he had with Minnesota. He wanted to stay in Minnesota. He had the chance to play with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce and wanted to stay in Minnesota. Finally concedes, lets the trade go through, wins his championship, obviously, in Boston, and then said later, man, I should have done this earlier. Yeah. Like, he's now known as a Celtic. I agree.
Giannis
and that's
has
fine.
the title.
But that's fine. He's got the monkey off his back. If he wants to play the rest of his career going out in the first or second round, then like you said, he's got his ring. But if he wants to really challenge, have a legacy that goes beyond that, and maybe you're in the top 10 conversation, maybe higher, win championships, or even just wanting to play in big games.
Exactly. That's where I think it's at. Just playing in the conference finals.
Well, so
I think less legacy and more like, I want to be playing deep into meaningful basketball games.
I also think he thinks that they have not been as far away as their playoff results have suggested. This is Middleton hurt in the playoffs. Dame hurt in the first round of playoffs. Giannis in the first round series against the Heat a couple of years ago, which was a huge upset. Giannis falls in game 1 on his back and is hurt. Like, he thinks the last few years they should have gone much further, and it was the wrong injury to the wrong guy at the wrong time. So I don't think he thinks that
injuries have played a factor. There's no question about that.
Moving on to the Lakers. Austin Reeves turned down the Lakers' 4-year, $89 million extension. He's going to test free agency next summer. Not a huge surprise. He's gotten better every year, gone from a 7-point scorer to averaging 20 while starting 73 games. Brew, what should the Lakers do with Austin Reeves?
Well, look, we all know they need a big. I would just listen to offers, see what I can get for him. I don't think they're going to be able to get a ton because, because he's got a year left on his deal. And a team could end up giving up assets for him, and then he leaves you after a year. So I would explore it and see, but I don't think they're going to get like a great offer that's going to knock them off their feet. And I'll say this about Reeves, because we've seen LeBron in big threes, and usually that third guy kind of becomes like a glorified role player. Chris Bosh, Kevin Love. Austin was able to excel with Luka and LeBron. So they had a legitimate big three. I'm not trying to escalate, Austin Reeves' ability, but he would average, his numbers are 20 points and 4.5 assists on great shooting, 48% shooting, 41% from three with Luka and LeBron. Everybody can't play off of them. So he does play well off them, so that's something the Lakers need to consider. I think ultimately, Danny, they would love to keep him.
And I think they will keep him.
And I think that it'll end up being that way. But here's the thing. Do you want to give him